My dear brothers and sisters, as we celebrate the feast of Epiphany, we say that Jesus has revealed, Jesus is revealing, and Jesus will continue to reveal to us. The question which we need to ask ourselves today is, where is Jesus? If Jesus has revealed, where is he? This question was asked by the shepherds. When they heard that Jesus has been born, they asked themselves, where is Jesus? Today, the three wise men, when they saw the star, the important question which they asked themselves was, where is Jesus? I pose that question. Go with that question wherever you are, and in whatever you do, ask yourself, where is Jesus? My dear brothers and sisters, simple answer, very simple, practical answer. Turn to your left or to your right, see your neighbor, that is Jesus. That is the image and the likeness of Jesus. So, how do I respond? How do I react if I see Jesus? The three wise men made the journey. It was not a simple journey. The journey which had ups and downs. But how did they succeed? They looked for the star. They didn't turn away from the star. When they turned away from the star, what happened? They were lost. They were lost. And what did they do? They went to ask, and then from the gospel, from the scriptures, they were told, where is Jesus? This is our spiritual journey. We are here in this church. We are searching for Jesus. We are looking for Jesus. If you open your eyes and look for the star, you will find Jesus. If you don't, you turn away from the star, you are going to be lost. My dear brothers and sisters, I encourage you today, let us keep our eyes to the star so that we can find Jesus. And the Jesus, as I said, look at your neighbor. Start with your family. Go to the daily activities. Jesus is there. But the manifestation of Jesus met different reactions. I'm going to share with you the three reactions which we heard from the gospel of today. When Jesus was born, the three reactions which we see from the gospel today is, the first one, there was a reaction of hatred and hostility. This reaction is represented by Herod. For Herod, Jesus was the star really, but the image which he had in his mind was the power. Herod was so suspicious that Jesus will interfere his life. Jesus will take his place. Jesus is going to take his power and his influence. So what? The first decision which he made was to destroy the star, to destroy Jesus, to murder Jesus, to kill Jesus. Herod was worried regarding his kingdom. He was worried that Jesus is going to overpower his kingdom. So finally, he ended up to kill the innocent children. Herod, the reaction of the revelation of Jesus was to kill the innocent children. If you read the history of Herod, he was known notorious killer. He didn't kill only the innocent children. Can you imagine? Herod killed his wife. Even the mother of his wife, Herod killed. 2 sons of him, he killed. Why? Seeking for power. Seeking for power. Jesus, if he reveals to us, sometimes we can kill him because we are looking for power. We don't like Jesus to interfere our kingdoms. Away from my kingdom. Away from my interests. At the end, I'm going to kill Jesus. The first reaction is hostility and hatred. But if you look at Herod, he was not just a notorious killer. He was also generous. Go and read the history of Herod. He was so generous to his people. I'm going to give you 2 examples. The first one, when he saw that the people were in problems, in difficulties, he decided to cancel the taxes to make things easier for his people. That is one example of generosity of Herod. The second example, during the famine, he melted down his own gold plate to buy the corns for the starving people. He was so generous. He was so kind. He seems to be generous, my dear brothers. He seems to be concerning with the needs of his people. Yet, he was hostile to Jesus, and he wanted to kill Jesus. Let us not kill Jesus, my dear brothers and sisters. The second reaction, which we heard from the gospel today, is the reaction of complete indifference. Jesus, to some, meant nothing. He seems not touching their affairs. So people, they were indifferent. And this reaction is represented by the chief priests and the scribes. They were so indifferent with Jesus. They were indifferent with Jesus. Let us ask ourselves, are we indifferent to the manifestation of Jesus? At home in Tanzania, we have the group of those whom we call, I'm using Swahili, wapiga debe. If you go to the bus stand at home, we find some people who they call you and invite you to go in the bus so that you can take the bus, the right bus, to where you are going. We call them wapiga debe. They call you, but they don't enter in the bus. They don't go with you where you are going, but they invite you. We Christians, we need not to be wapiga debe. We are Christians. We need not to be indifferent to the revelation of God. I want to ask you, how do you take the spiritual calls from God? What's your stand regarding the moral of the church? Are you indifferent? It doesn't bother you. is not your part to play. We need not to be indifferent. We need to stand firm as Catholics to the moral principles of life, to the spiritual demands of our life. Let us not be lukewarm. We need to be hot to the life, spiritual principles of our life. The last reaction, the reaction which is represented by those three wise men, the reaction of adoring, the reaction of worshiping, the reaction of giving homage to Jesus. My dear brothers and sisters, we need to give the homage to Jesus. We need to adore Jesus. The goal for us to come to the church is just searching for Jesus. But let me tell you, don't come to the church empty hands. When I come in this church every Sundays or every day, I have to come with something. The three wise men didn't go to Jesus with empty hands. They went with something. Jesus needs something from you. You have, my brothers and sisters. What does Jesus need from you? Just simple thing. Your sins. Your sins. Your brokenness. Your failures. Come with those things to Jesus and give him homage. Give him adoration, telling him that, Jesus, you know me. How weak am I? I can offer nothing to you, just my failures. My dear brothers and sisters, Jesus needs you. He needs your reaction today. What kind of reaction are you going to offer to Jesus today? The hatred, indifference, or homage and the worship? It's up to you to decide now. You can if you want.